The Oura Ring is great, but it's got problems, mostly a $6 per month problem. So for the last 3 months, I've been using a $13 smart ring that has no subscription and provides a surprising amount of functionality considering it's about 5% of the price of the Oura. But that raises a concern. At this price point, what is happening to your data, and is it going straight to the Chinese Communist Party? Quite possibly, and I'll address that in a moment. So what is this and what does it cost? I first heard about this smart ring from an X post. Someone was talking about how it could do 80% of what the Oura Ring could do and for less than 20 bucks. So I checked it out, couldn't believe it was true, and figured for about the price of a Chipotle burrito with guac, why not give it a shot? So I went to AliExpress and I bought it. The brand behind this ring is a Chinese company called Colmi, and the particular model I got is called the R02. The company Colmi also has other models that look very similar with similar functionality, and all of them run between 13 to 25 US dollars. So yeah, I bought it, and with about $2 in shipping cost, the ring showed up on my doorstep a week later. Now, even if this thing didn't work at all, it's amazing that for just $15 all in, this thing has a battery and was transported across an ocean. We live in unbelievable times. But what does this thing even do? What health metrics does it track? Join me in the app and I'll show you. I'm gonna show you this on an Android device. This is what it looks like on the home screen. The app is called Q Ring. If you're on Android, you can get this on the Play Store. And if you're on iOS, you can get it on the App Store. And I presume the app looks pretty similar no matter where you get it. And if you open it up, you get this homepage. This is like your initial dashboard. And I'll go into each of these in more detail later, but for now, you get the activity score, which is currently 100. I ran on the treadmill earlier, did about 3.5, 4 miles. So it shows your distance, it shows how many steps, I'm just shy of 10,000, and how many kilocalories you burnt, and it gives you a score currently 100, which it says is excellent. Moving beyond that, you have a sleep score. So this is for last night, and it gave me a 96, which is excellent. 8 hours, 11 minutes of sleep according to it. Went to bed at 9:49, woke up at 6. That's pretty accurate. My alarm clock went off at 6, so can't argue with it there, and I'll dive deeper into those details in a moment. There's a heart rate score. As of the last reading, 99 beats per minute. Sport record, you can manually start a workout or log a workout, and so that's what that's all about. Heart rate variability, currently 49 milliseconds, and it gives you kind of your normal range there. Blood oxygen between 95 and 100%, currently 97%. And then a stress level. This is based on the sleep and how much you've worked out today, how stressed your body is. And the funny thing is about this whole thing is I compared it to a friend that has the Whoop app, and it's very similar in terms of like how this has the sun in the background and the starry sky kind of thing here. It's a very similar looking app. With any of these cards, you can click on it. So if I click on the activity one, or tap on it rather, then you can see your scores from the last few days. So here's today. Again, you got these colorful rings showing your steps, your mileage, your calories, and then it gives you an activity score. And then there's your steps broken down by hour. So if I scroll this little dial over at about 9 a.m., that's when I was at the gym, I did about 5,000 steps. Probably pretty accurate. Not exactly sure. I don't have anything to compare it to. And then if I look at the distance, oh, I guess I was wrong. I ran 2.5 miles. My treadmill was in kilometers, so I didn't know for sure, but it says 2.5 miles. And then it tells you how many calories you burned. And that was all a deeper dive into the activity section. And you can also scroll over and see previous dates. So you can see I closed the rings almost every day except yesterday. And then moving on with the sleep score, same thing here where you can tap on that little icon and it takes you into more details. And so here you can see your wake up time, you can see rapid eye movement, light sleep, deep sleep, all of that type of stuff here. And then if you scroll down a little bit more, it gives you more numbers. Total awake time was 6 minutes throughout the night. It's probably accurate. I slept very well last night. Sleep summary, duration to sleep, 13 minutes. Average heart rate, 64 beats per minute. That sounds a little bit high, but it is what it is. And average heart rate variability. And then if I go back into the heart rate section, you can scroll through with this little notch at the bottom, and it tells you your heart rate at different times of the day. And here's what's strange about the heart rate thing is it's not truly continuous. And if I click on the data details, it's only like, look at that, there's like hour-long gaps between measurements. So it's only measuring every once in a while. And I can manually run the measurement by clicking on that little thing in the top right, and that'll manually measure it. Or there's this thing on the previous page that says real-time heart rate. I can click to start measurement, and it starts running that. And here's where I'm very skeptical about the data. It says the minimum was 49, average 80, maximum 108. While I ran at a fairly intense rate this morning, and the treadmill was saying 130, 120, something like that heart beats per minute, while this was saying maximum of 108. And then currently it's saying 79. So, I don't know how accurate this heart rate measurement truly is. With the sport record, you can hit the go button, and then you can record different types of workouts there. Heart rate variability, you have scheduled heart rate monitoring, gives you your lowest, your highest, and then as with the heart rate, you can click to start measurement, and that'll manually run a measurement. Blood oxygen, typically this is going to be around 100%, 95 to 100% is what it always is. And with all of these categories, you can click over to see previous days and kind of just scroll through your data like that. And then stress level, this is a score typically around like 40. I don't know exactly what this is measuring, but I do remember that the Oura Ring had something very similar. That was all stuff under the home tab. That was like your dashboard when you open up the app. If you click activity, this is a breakdown of just today's activity. We already saw this page when I clicked on the activity tab. And then sleep, this is a breakdown of just your sleep, which is the same tab as we saw before. And then if you click on me, you can see some information about the ring, like the battery life, which by the way, in my test from 100% battery, it lasts almost exactly 48 hours. Like no matter what, it was about 2 full days. You can actually take a picture with it. You can actually use this as a trigger for taking a photo with your cell phone, which is kind of interesting. And then from here is mostly just different settings. Like you can change it between imperial system, metric system, get a low battery prompt, whether or not it's allowed to run in the background, and I'll talk more about that in a moment. And if you lose your ring, there's a find ring thing, which I actually did use before, and it'll make the ring flash so that you can see it a little bit easier. And if we go back to the home page, there's a little share button up here where you could share this with people via WhatsApp or text message or whatever, and it'll share your current health data, your sleep score, stuff like that. And if you click this button in the very top right, that'll refresh it and just sync all your data with your ring. So you've seen all the stuff it tracks. How accurate is it? The answer is, I don't know. I've had the Whoop, I've had the Oura Ring in the past, and I don't know how accurate those are either. With every fitness tracker I've ever used, I've had times where, for example, I know I woke up in the middle of the night, but the sleep tracker tells me I was in deep sleep when I know I wasn't. Or another example, I'll be running on the treadmill at the gym, and the treadmill, the heart rate monitor on the treadmill says my heart rate is 140, but the ring says my heart rate is 90, and my finger on my pulse says it's 120. So in short, I don't have much faith in any of these devices, but I think they're directionally correct. What do I mean by that? Well, when I've been to the gym, the heart rate chart generally goes up. And it's quite accurate as far as when I went to bed and when I woke up. Now, whether I'm actually in deep sleep or REM sleep, those things I'm a little skeptical about. But for things like the blood oxygen levels and the heart rate variability, I don't have anything to test those metrics against. So that's how I recommend you think about any of these devices, whether it's $13 or $1,300, is that they're directionally correct, but imperfect. Now, time to address the elephant in the room. What happens with your data? Well, just like with the Oura and the Whoop and a lot of these other trackers, you don't own your data. There is no built-in option that I found to export your data or do anything with it, other than that they do have an option to delete your data through their website. That said, you should always be skeptical whether a company is actually acting on those requests or not. And this has the added concern that this company is headquartered in China. So I do not recommend downloading this app onto your everyday smartphone. Personally, the way I used it was I put it on an old phone that I don't normally carry with me. I restricted all network access. I didn't give it any permissions. I didn't set up an account, and I pretty much had it completely locked down. But the app still functioned completely fine, as you saw. but I don't trust it and I wouldn't put it on my everyday phone. If you want to see my old videos about the Oura Ring, click the link on your screen.